Hello, my friends. Amy with Campbell Creations, and today I am using Bargain Bead Box September 2025 sweater weather, and I am finally getting to make my first pieces with this, and I'm super excited about what I'm thinking here. So there's a lot going on, right? There's a whole lot going on. We're gonna make a 3-piece set today. Okay, so we're gonna make a necklace, a bracelet, and a pair of earrings. And what we're pulling from the box is I'm using, I'm using these beautiful barrel beads. Those are coming in. We're going to use the chain from the box, some of these beautiful little gray bicones. The mahogany obsidian, we're going to use those 4mm. We have that petrified wood, an 8mm that we're using. We have these beautiful little brown agates that we're pulling in. And then from that mix, I have pulled out all of those little faceted red beads from there. So I've pulled out all of those. We're using filigree pieces from the box. We're using the chandelier findings from the box, the toggle. I think that's it from the box. So what else I'm pulling in is, instead of using the bigger spacers, I got these from Beadbox Bargain's website, and I really like these little ones, and I think they're going to be perfect in what I'm looking to do with them today. I tried those bigger ones and I'm like, not for this one. Not for this one. So I'm pulling those in. These are the bead caps from last month's box. So I'm pulling those in. Love them. I'm pulling in some that are so close to the same. I got these from Joann's, and when I got these from Joann's, they came in a set of all different sizes, and it's not necessarily antique bronze, it's more of a almost brown filigree, and I thought they looked really good with our filigree findings here. So we have those. We have our 3mm bronze baby bead caps, and also in gold for those baby bead caps. These come from Fire Mountain. Last I checked, there's a little spacer in there too. How about that? So last time I checked, Fire Mountain was still out of these ones, these bronze ones, but I'll still put the link below so you can, keep a watch on it and see. I am also pulling in these. These, I found some new spacers. I really like them, you guys. So these come in a strand that has like a flat silver, a bright silver, and these gold, and they're like little octagons. And just little video, guys. And actually, hold on just a second, because I went and got more today, and I'll show them. They are from Hobby Lobby. So one sec. Actually, I may show you all of them. So first are these. So let's see here. This is how they come, and they're 50% off at Hobby Lobby, and they come just like this. So they have that flat color, that matte color, the bright there in that silver, and then the gold. It's all of these spacer beads here. So I got everything they had today. I really like them. I really like them. So those, and then from my last tutorial, I was telling you guys about these other rainbow plated hematite beads. I got more of those from Hobby Lobby today, and these also 50% off, and this is them. They're just little video guys, and I like them a lot. They're like little squares almost. So really good. Love those. And then I found these for the first time. And so these are 2x3 little hematite plated disc spacers, and so I went ahead and got a couple of those. Again, 50% off, so $5 for all of these, so it gives me 4 7-inch strands. So anyways, love those. Love these little spacers. I'm going to be using these a whole bunch, guys. Whole bunch. I pulled out a lot of different jump rings, right? So there's a lot of jump rings going on here because there's different things I want to do, and I want to make sure that I'm covered no matter which size I'm needing. I have some clamshell connectors in gold and in that antique bronze color, and then up here in the tray is for our bracelet. So I have some different head pins up here. Oh, these guys, these came from Fire Mountain. They came in a 4-pack. I've already put one down here, and these are those little Preciosa teardrops, and that red matches so well. And since I'm already using all of these guys, I wanted to pull in some more, and so I pulled those out. So I put a little bit of this together. Okay, what I've done so far just to help me on timing is on this bigger filigree piece, I put a jump ring right up here at the top, right? And then I have a jump ring coming down from it, and I just made a couple little dangles. So here is that mahogany obsidian, and I have 3 of those little spacers on each side with that little ball head pin that is wire wrapped. And then on this center one, I have those spacers. I have one of the little disc beads like this that came in that little mix that was there. And what I did with that is I just doubled those bead caps. That's what I'm looking today to do, is stack a little bit of bead caps, do some mixed metals, and I think it's going to be super fun. And isn't that cute? It just pulls out that red that we're going to be using today. Now, I put my chandelier finding on the bottom of this, and the way I connected it is it was like perfect for that little middle hole. So what I did is I took 2 jump rings, and you see how I just put them from the outside hole to the inside hole, outside hole to the inside hole, and both of those connect through that center connection loop at the top of that chandelier finding. So I thought I might fiddle with that a little bit, holding it in this way, so I went ahead and got that part done, and I've started on my dangles. So down here I have that mahogany obsidian, and I have some of those spacers above it, and then on this one I have that same obsidian with just 1 spacer, and then in the center we're going to be making some of these. I have one of those teardrops that I used a little ball head pin, put some spacers up on top of it, and just kind of popped it through there so that it would dangle, right? And what I'm connecting these with, this chain is part of the chain that came in the box. I'm loving the chain that came in the box. So what's really cool about this chain is every single link opens, every single link. Right? You see those little connections? So you can open them up and do about anything you need to do with them. And that's just fun. I love it. So I capitalized on that and utilized it. So I have just those 3, because with this, let me bring it back out. See, we have 3 of them, and then that larger piece. 3 of them, that larger piece, 3 large. And so it just worked out. I went ahead and got those, made that connection, and over here I have my first connection made, but we're going to make the others. Okay, so before we finish out the bottom of this, and then we'll talk about this little cutie, before we finish out the bottom of this, what I'm wanting to do is, for these connections here, I'm wanting to take the 2 center ones here, okay, and I want the center ones here to feed into the 1 center here, so it's going to kind of like be a triangle almost. So I'm going to have 2 connections going into this 1 larger loop, so it'll end up being like this, right? So these 2 center ones are going to connect to this 1 center one. That's what I'm thinking. And so we'll have them kind of like this, and then we'll do some strands going up. I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be really cute. So that's what I made these pretty boys for. So all this is a double loop. The loops are the same, right? So I want them to be just the same. They're not offset. Okay, and I just have spacer, that mahogany obsidian, and a spacer. I made 4 of those. Let's go ahead and get those connected. We'll finish out this, and then we'll talk about our strands and the rest of this piece. Okay, so I'm going to make this super easy connection. Well, hopefully it's super easy. In my mind, it's super easy. So I'm just going to open this guy up. I'm going to come to that center one. I'm going to pop him on. And there is a front and a back to these, right? So the back side's more flat. So I'll connect him, make sure it's closed all the way. Come in here with the next one. We'll connect it on the center of the one beside it. And then these 2 are both going to connect together and feed into this one. So let's start with this first one. And again, you're just wanting to be mindful of the front of that filigree piece. Okay, so I know I'm holding the front. And then where the center is, I'm coming over 1. I started that out as a doozy, didn't I? Okay, but I'm wanting it to go back through That way I keep the front of that. Okay, so let's bring this over so I can get him closed. Close him all the way. He still could go a little bit more here. Come here, little guy. There we go. Okay, then we'll just re-verify that we have front, front, and we do. So now this one's going to come down into that same hole. Okay, so I'm going to grab him, see where he's going to be opening. Okay, he's opening on that front side of the filigree. Okay, so I'm going to keep a hold of him, keep hold of this filigree. We'll just pop him right through. All the way closed. So this is how our connection is going to look. I wanted the connection to be more of that deeper color instead of the red. And you know, I was going back and forth, and I decided not to. And that is, you know, I have things dangling from the center of this one. I don't think I want things dangling from the center of these. I think it's going to throw it off because these connections are here from the side. Well, if I'm dangling something from here, it's going to end up dangling down this way. And I'm not feeling it. I also thought about embellishing this. You know, I could either glue something, like something cute here and in a couple different places, or I could use some like 28 gauge wire and I could wrap that around. You can definitely do that. I decided I just wanted them like this. I like that. I like that. So we're going to do that other side. So let's get this guy opened up. Okay. Make sure he's good and closed. Open this one. Okay. So now these two are going to feed into that one right there in the center. So let's do this first one. Okay, this is on the back side, so here's the front of my filigree, and the opening is on the back side. So I'm going to come in here. Woohoo. Make sure he's closed all the way. Make sure I didn't mess anything up. Okay, yep, front's front, back's back. Excellent. So on this one, it's going to be the same. So when I'm looking at this, the opening's on the back and my thumb's on the front. So I'm going to grab a hold of him. We'll pop him open. Oh, oh, I broke him. Okay, no problem. We'll redo that one. We'll redo him. Oh, hello. That's unfortunate. Okay, so let's redo that one real quick. It happens. Okay, so here's where we're at. Okay, so let's grab one of these. Super simple, almost as simple as it gets. So grab that other bead. So it looks like I lost one spacer in that process. So I'm going to pop one of those on there. Put our obsidian and our other little spacer. I want these going the same direction. Okay, so I'm going to hold on to this. Come in here with my chain nose pliers. Make sure I'm all the way down on top of that. I'm just going to bend him down. Trim him up. And make that simple little loop. we're all settled up. I might want to make that a little bit bigger. There we go. That way he's the same. I'm making sure that he's the same. Nothing's kinked or twisted, and it's not, so that's good. So now let's open up this one side. Let's pop him on. What you doing there, buddy? There we go. Okay. Okay, and so now we're just going to do that same process of being mindful of what is front, what is back. It potentially saves a whole lot of time by taking an extra second to check these kind of things. And with me, you know, I'm so silly sometimes. I can totally just mess that up. So sometimes I need to talk it out as well, right? So it's opening on the same size as the side as the front of that filigree. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to make sure I pop him on to where he stays forefront. Okay, looks like we'll be good. Flip him around just so I can close him up. Okay, now let's take a peek at it again. Nice. That's what we're looking at. That's so cute. It's like clean, but it still has that blingy and that extra something something to it, you know? So, okay, I really like that. So down here, I have those 3 links that's connected. Over here, I have this one done. So I have one on the first link, one on the second link, the little guy's on the second link, and then this one on the third link. Let's make another one of these. So to do that, coming in here with one of my very thin ball head pens. I'm going to grab one of those drops. I'm just going to push this head pen through that drop opening. Okay, so here we have it. I'm going to pop it up. And when I pop it up, I'm going to pop it up like big time, to where it's almost like leaning forward, right? That ensures that it's not going to have any wiggle going this way. We want the wiggle going this way. We want movement, but we don't want it to be able to go back and forth, right? So from here, actually I wanted to grab, I wanted him in there. So instead of just doing 3 of these, I did one of these, one of my little crimps as a spacer, and then another one of these little spacers, just for a little difference, kind of variation in that color. And I thought that that crimp kind of matched the little ball that was in the front of that, right? And so it just kind of hangs like this. I think it's super cute. Super, super cute. Okay, so I'm going to hold on to him. We're going to do a little wrapped loop. I have so many things I want to do with this box. But because I want to do so many things, I had to be mindful of not using everything of this and not everything of that. And could I use everything of this? And so it ended up taking me a lot longer than it should have to design, because I was trying to be mindful of all the things and stuff I wanted to make. Silly, silly. But I know I have plenty of things for all I want to make, or what I think all I want to make as of this point. So we have this guy, so he'll get connected on there. He'll get connected on the very bottom one. Let me look here. It looks like one of those links is a little bit open. Is that open? No, it's not open enough to come out. Okay. I was going to say I better fix that. Okay. And then on the other one, I'm just going to remake one of those. So I'm going to grab another one of those little thin gauged, because I also have some thicker gauged ball head pens. I'm using these thinner gauged ones for these. And so I'm just going to pop on one of our obsidian and a spacer. Very simple. He's just coming in on the side as a help out dangle. Okay, I'm wrapped up. Okay, so we have 3 of those. Bring my nail clippers because they work so well. They get so close. A lot of times I don't even have to cinch anything down. I usually give it, of course, a quick look and see if I do or not. And this one does a little bit. Either just because or because I was talking. All right. So now what we're gonna do, and I believe, let me just verify, yeah, the smallest one's on the second. So I'm gonna come in here to my chain link, okay, and I'm gonna come down to the second one. So let's hold it out this way. I'm gonna grab that second one. I'm gonna find which side that opening is on. There it is. He's looking at me. Okay, so I'm just going to open him up. Just a little bit. It won't take much. I'm going to pop that guy on there. I'm just closing back up. Okay. So then now I'm going to come in on that bottom one. So this is that bottom chain link. Find that open side. Pop him open just a tad. And on this one, we want to be mindful. We can't just throw it on there, right? Because there's a front and there's a back. So for this dangle, okay, he's open. For this dangle, let's see if I'm right on the first try. The likelihood is no. But if not, we'll put it on the other side. Hold on. Okay, so I know which way he wants to lay. So now I'm going to grab him, and I want this dangle to go on like so. Close that link right back up. It's easier for me to open these little links than to try to wire wrap around it because sometimes it just gets messy. Let's see if we need to turn that at all. So let's lay it back out. Let's see. Oh, actually, the whole thing needs to be turned. So it's actually the wire wrap itself. So let me see here. No, I just did it backwards. Oh, Amy. Almost. Almost. We're getting somewhere. Kind of. Not really. There we go. There we go. So that is what we're looking at for those 2 dangles. He still wants to move to the side a little bit, but he's okay. So for these 2. Now for the center one, I've already kind of put that together. So what I'm looking at for that, I wanted it to be kind of a tiered. So on this top one here, I have one of the spacers, and then I have one of my 3mm gold bead caps. I have these small bead caps. I'll show you. I get them from beadboxbargains.com. I love them. I love them. I love them. I have a whole bunch of them. Okay, and just the same thing on the other side. And this is one of those disc beads that came in that mix. Okay, now those bead caps. Let's see. So these come from beadboxbargains.com, and these are the ones when I've done some hauls, I'm like, I told you guys if they still have them, I order them every single time. Oh yeah, look at my scratches. That's from Squirt. They're not mean scratches though. Look at them. Aren't those just so adorable? I love them. I love them. And they look really cute, don't they? With that gold bead cap on top of it. I so love doing that. I know I'm kind of stuck on it, you guys, but it's because it's so cute. If it wasn't so cute, I wouldn't be stuck on it. Okay, so what I did was I had this, and what I connected to it was one of those chains, but I put all 3 dangles at the bottom. So I wanted to pull in the gray silver that's up here, right? So I pulled it down to the center of that bottom dangle, and then on each side of that, it's just some of the bling, some of those spacers, and that's really it. That is all, that is it. So we're going to open that up, and it's going to connect right on to that center loop. So let's come here. I was like, if I don't pre-make some of these dangles and stuff, then I'm going to be spending an hour just making dangles for attachments and attaching them. So I thought, yeah, let me be efficient and get that done so that I'm not having to take you guys along for all of that. And sometimes I do take you along for all of that, but this time I'm like, I'm doing a 3-piece set. Let's do this. So you see how that dangles down there? I just love it. I just love it. Love it, love it, love it. Super fun. Okay, so we have these, okay? These are going to be connected to strands, 3 strands that go to this. And then from here, we'll just have a little chain behind the neck, okay? So let's talk about those strands, okay? I'm going to set this up here to the side. Let's get you all the way up out of the way. So I have 2 of the strands here. There's going to be a total of 4 of these strands that's being made. I've already made 2 of them, okay? But I don't have them out here because, you know, I wanted to show you. I wanted to show you as we made them. So I am using the very last of my deep red soft flex and medium. That's all I had. And the reason why these are this size is because I took everything that was left in that spool and I turned it into 4 pieces that were even, same size, and I thought, well, from there we're just going to do chain. But I definitely wanted to use medium soft flex for this, and that red just works out so well. So this is just about 6 1/4 inches, okay? So it's 4 of these at 6 1/4 inches that would be happening. So let's talk about the first strand. And I will tell you what I'm looking for in these 2 strands is an offset. And I work with offsets a lot. I really like them. There's just something that just draws the eye, I feel, through the piece, especially whenever there are 2 strands that are offset from each other, right? And so for the first strand, what I'm pulling in here is I'm pulling in our little 4mm obsidian. I'm pulling in some of these little faceted maroon colored beads that were in that mix. Okay, I'm going to use some of all of these bead caps probably. And let's see, I'm going to bring in a couple of these guys and probably one of these guys and some of these guys and one of these guys. Doing it all. I'm taking it all. All right, here's how I'm going to get started with it. I'm going to start with one of our little spacer beads. And from here, I'm going to go into a little series with this obsidian. And then with our baby gold bead caps, I am going to bead cap this faceted, deep, rich red bead in the center. It kind of pulls in that gold, but it's not too overwhelming, you know? I like that a whole bunch. Okay, so that's our start. Like it a whole bunch. Okay, from here, I'm going to do one of our little gray bicones. Okay, I'm going to pull in one of these guys, and I want one of the little bronze bead caps on him. And then we're going to do that same series just on the other side of this. We're going to do this again on the other side of our brown agate. So we'll have that gray, then we'll do our obsidian with a baby bead capped, faceted burgundy or maroon bead. And then that obsidian on the other side. So it pulls in kind of all of those colors. I think it really brings them all together and I think it just looks cool. Okay, so we're going to do another spacer to complete that little series we just did. Then we're going to pull in some of those bigger beads. And with the bigger beads, that's where I'm wanting to double up on those bead caps. Let me trim this just a tiny bit. And then see if our spacer wants to, there we go. Okay, now from here, what I'm wanting to pull in is I'm wanting to pull in a couple of these guys and one of our barrel beads. I'll probably have a couple spacers in there as well. And the way I'm wanting to do this is I'm going to do one of our baby gold bead caps on top of one of our brown 8mm bead caps. Okay, and I'm going to put this on our petrified wood. Okay, so let me do that other side of it real quick and then I'll show you. So we're back in here with that brown filigree bead cap, a baby gold, and that pop is just gorgeous. Oh, that stuff makes me so happy. It just looks so cool. It's like that little bit of a pop that's with it. So you get the texture, you know, of having both of those. It is good. So I think I want one of these spacers here in the middle. And then we're going to do a barrel bead. And so for the barrel bead, I'm going to do opposite what we have going on here. So what I'm going to do is one of the 3mm bronze bead caps on top of one of the gold filigree 8mm bead caps. And then we're going to bring in that barrel bead. Okay, so I'll do that other side real quick. So it's just opposite of what the bead next to it is. And then we'll do this. So then that's how that barrel bead's popping, right? That's so cool. I love them. Okay, so on this other side, we're just going to do another petrified wood. So I'm going to come in here with gold. So we have that gold, then we have that brown. We have our little petrified wood 8mm. Then we'll just pop back on another brown. 3mm gold on top of it. And that is just super cute, I think. And so kind of all those colors are pulling in from each other, right? I like that a lot. Okay, so on the other side of this, essentially all we're doing is this. Okay, we're just going to redo that whole other side. So I'm going to do one of our little spacers. Then we're going to be obsidian, gold baby bead cap. Is that two of them? Nope, it's just one. With our burgundy faceted bead. One of those 4mm on the other side. Then we're going to come into the bicone, bronze bead cap. These beauties, these are so cool. I like these so much. So much. Then we'll come back in here with that gray and then back down our final of the series. And I got out the rest of what I had out of these. We may need more. I do have more. And that's the thing. Like when I see that they're back in stock with all of these on Fire Mountain, I'll just order multiple of each. They give you the option of ordering a package of 250, a package of 500, or a package of 1,000. It's a way better price to just get the 1,000. And you'll use them. Yes, you will. You'll use them. Okay, so here is the first of our 2 strands that's going to be going up that one side. Love it. Love it, love it. So I'm going to set that aside. Okay, on the other strand, I'm wanting an offset. So I'm going to come in here. And with this one, what I'm going to do is I am going to start with that same little spacer. I'm going to pull in at the end, I'm going to pull in one of these gray beads. Okay, and then from here, I'm going into the series that looks like this. Okay, so I'm going to do a spacer. I'm going to do baby gold bead cap, followed by the brown bead cap, and then we're going to pull in that petrified wood. Okay, we'll just go back through. So we need brown, 3mm gold, and that completes that one. We're going to do a little spacer, and then we're going to do that opposite. So we're going to come in with a 3mm bronze, so 3mm bronze, 8mm gold barrel bead, gold, baby bronze, spacer. I just think it's so fun looking. I love stacking those bead caps. To me, I just don't think you can beat it. I really, really don't. So we're going to jump back in here. Small gold, big brown, petrified wood. Don't these petrified wood feel so cool? I love the feel of them. I think they're pretty awesome. Okay, and then we'll do that gold bead cap. So then from here, we're going to go into this series. Okay, so again, we're on that offset. So from here, I think I wanted a spacer on there. Yeah, I think I do. Yeah, I started with a spacer. Okay, so I'm going to do a spacer to end that part of the series. And then I'm going to jump into, first I'm going to move this guy out of the way. Okay, so I'm going to do an obsidian, I'm going to do bead cap, faceted, red bead, go down there buddy, and bead cap, and then that obsidian, okay, and then we're going to put a spacer in here, we're going to go with that gray, and then we'll do that. Did we do a spacer there? I don't think we did we? Nope, we don't have a spacer. Okay, then I'm not going to do a spacer. Okay. I guess we did at the start because maybe we need more room. Okay, so we're going to do this. We're going to come in here with one of the bronze bead caps, pop on one of our agate, bronze bead cap, and I really think I wanted a spacer. It doesn't look right to me. I think I wanted a spacer in these. I may be updating that because I think I want a spacer. Yeah, let me look at my other strand. Actually, I have these strands done. I have 2 of these done. Yes, for the center, it's just between the obsidian. I thought so. I thought so because I wanted that difference between the obsidian and the gray. You know, and I'm looking down and I'm like, that just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right. Okay, so here we go. We're going to do that gray bead, bronze bead cap, agate, bead cap, another gray, spacer. Then we'll just go into that obsidian. Ooh, do I have? No way, I have just enough bead caps. That's total coincidence, my friends. I'm telling you right now, that is total coincidence. Okay, and then we'll go with our obsidian. And then we're going to do another spacer here, and then we're going to go back into this series, right? So you see how that offset happens? And you're going to have your brown agate right across from your barrel bead on each. I love offsets. I think they're so much fun. I think they're so much fun. Okay, so let's do that spacer. again. Sorry, guys, I just keep moving you, don't I? Okay, let's bring these guys down. And actually, I am gonna need gold bead caps. So here's the deal. Let me get those gold bead caps. So here's how they come. I have the bronze ones too, but I grabbed these two. Here's the gold. And so when you get them in a pack of 1,000, you end up getting 10 packages of 100. And it just works out really well. It just works out really well. And I mean, if it tells you anything, I've already went through 1,000 of them. And I think this is what, like 18 bucks or something? That is a lot of good quality, make a whole lot of change and make an impact in a design baby bead caps. So there's that. Let me go ahead and open one of these at least, so I can use them. I'll get them put up. Oh yeah, no bead left behind. No way, Jose, not a single one. Yeah, we're good. All right. So we're just going to go back into this series here. So we're going to need one of our baby gold bead caps. Boy, I made a mess, didn't I? Okay. Then we'll need one of our 8mm brown. I'll pop on one of our petrified wood. We'll come right back in here with the brown, followed by our little gold. Okay, we're going to want a spacer in between. And then we're going to do that opposite. So we're going to be with a baby bronze, 3mm bronze, I should be saying, 8mm gold. And these are really, those little filigree gold bead caps that were in last month's box, they're on Bead Box Bargain's website, and they're a really good price. They're a good price, so I got some more of those coming actually. Okay, then I'll just pop back on that gold, go with the bronze, spacer, then we're going with the gold. So 3mm gold. 8mm brown, petrified wood, and then brown, gold. I like it. Yep. Okay. And so we're going to end this though with a spacer on each side of one of these grave icons. And it's for length purposes. Now, what we need to do also is we need to fix this other strand. So on this other strand, the only thing we're fixing is to add a little spacer between the obsidian and the gray bead. Okay, so I'm going to just start with this side. Okay, and I'm just going to come in here and put my spacer. Then we'll do that gray. Bronze bead cap with the brown agate. Okay. Then we'll pop on that gray again. We'll do a spacer. And then we will have obsidian with a bead cap on our little red bead. And then another obsidian. Where did it go? Didn't I pop it off of there? Excellent. And then we'll just end with a spacer. And then we need to do that same little fix on that side. Okay. So I'm going to swap bead cap or swap bead bugs. I'm going to pop those off. Add us a spacer, and then here we go. We'll wrap them up. So we have that gray bead, bronze bead cap, brown agate, gray, spacer. Then we're at the last leg of the race. So obsidian, then we'll bead cap that dark red bead. Obsidian ends it with a spacer. Okay, so now let's look at these and then we'll close them up, right? So we have that tight. Now this one's tight. See how that looks? Isn't that cool? So here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking these two with this as the third. So it kind of pulls, almost like it's pulling some of that filigree all the way through the design, right? So it's going to go from these guys here to the 3 strands that's going to go up, that's going to connect into this. And these are our 3 strands, right? Okay. So I'm going to end this out. And so I'm going to jump in here with some of my clamshell connectors. And I got out some bronze as well as some gold because, you know, I knew I was mixing metals, but I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do as far as the closures. But for the necklace portion of it, at least, I know that I do want those connections, those clamshell connectors, to be that bronze. So let's just end out this one. Leave a little bit poking out there at the top. Let's bring him up. Close him off for a while. Slide it down. Clamshell, and there we go. So I'm going to put this in my hand, and I usually just kind of bring it, I fold it kind of in half. It just makes sure it keeps that movement. And of course these strands are all going to be straight, just going up the side, but still I don't want them to be stick straight or make these beads, you know, wonky on each other because they're too tight, you know. So I'm just holding up on the wire as I'm crimping because I don't want too much spacing, but I want it to have movement. Okay, so we'll trim off that bit of wire. Close him up. Okay, one strand. Do the same thing here. Then we'll bring in those other 2 strands that I've already done. Close him up. Okay. Then I'll just do that same thing. I'll fold him up in my hand to make sure that we have some good movement. Hopefully I'll remember to bring Squirt in at the end. He is getting so big, so big. He is so much fun. Him and Jasper are so much fun. Actually, I did a bit of a recording of him and Jasper together because it's just so cute. I'll add that to the end of this video no matter what. And then depending on, see, the thing with Squirt now with him being older is he's 2 hands. And so 2 hands here under the camera with my bead mat's kind of difficult. And with all of the light, I wouldn't want him to get like panicked or frightened. And so that's why I haven't brought him on here recently, but he's doing great, you guys. He's so cool. Okay, let me grab those other 2 strands. Okay, so here's the other 2 strands. Okay. Aren't those cool? I really, really like those. I really like them. Okay, So let me bring these to the side and let's come in here with our focal. So the way I'm wanting to do this is I'm going to bring in these two. So actually I need to make a little bit of room. Hold on one sec. I have an awful lot of bead caps out here. I didn't know how many I would need, but I knew I needed many. So I just brought all things, old stuff. Let's get some of that out of the way. We don't need them just yet, and that we'll be bringing in momentarily. And we're done with our bead bugs for now. Okay, excellent. So the way these are going to go is I wanted to really connect these individually. Okay, and so they're going to be connected individually. They are going to be close together going up to our chandelier that's going to kind of separate them out as well. Okay, so if I'm wanting, this will most likely be here, right? And so let's see how I want to do this. So I could do one here, with the chain. No, I don't want to do that. I want to do one on this side. Let me think this through. I thought I knew what I wanted to do. Hold on. Maybe because it's all wonky. Let's set this guy aside for a moment. Thank you, I needed that room. Okay, excellent. So on this side, okay, so if I connect this one to the center here, this one to the center here, right, these two centers, then what I could do is I could do a jump ring coming out of these two thicker ones to connect to my one strand of chain. I think that'll work out. Let's see though on sizes of our jump ring. Let me get these two connected and then we'll work on that center. Actually, no, I should get the center done first. I should definitely get the center done first. And I bet oval jump rings would look awesome, right? Okay. I'm thinking they may give that distance that I'm looking for. So let's see here. So if we thought I had a lot of jump rings out before, you know, we weren't for sure. We needed more. That's design for you. You know, you can prepare and prepare, but then things change. And oh, it's so fun. Okay, so from these thicker ones here, right, I'm going to go ahead and close this up. Okay, so I have one coming here. Sorry, a cough just hit me, and so if there's going to be a weird edit, it's because a cough just hit me. Okay, so let's do this other one. I was really trying to think out of the box with these filigree findings. I just wanted something different, you know? I was like, what can I do? What can I do? Okay, so let's try this. Let me pop him on this one, okay? I'm going to close him up. So close him up good. Okay. And then on this one, actually, let's do this. No, I should be okay. I should be okay. Let me open him. Okay, see how they're coming out there? This is essentially what I did down here with the focal. But not with oval jump rings, they were just regular jump rings. This is a bigger space though, so I figured these ovals would work better for that. Oh, I can't hardly see that. There we go. Okay, so let's see how that lays. So let's bring this all back where it needs to be. Okay. So if this guy's coming up, and then from next to it, the small one in the center, this guy and this guy. So they would end up being essentially like so. Right? I think so. Okay, so I want to use my smallest ones for these connections because I don't think I'll need more than that, and I want it to kind of flow in and not necessarily be a part of the design or look like it's part of the design. Okay, so right next to that, I'm going to come into the center one, maybe that one. Okay, so I'm coming into the center one. I'm going to pop this guy on. Let's close him back up. There's a little gnat. I put the bananas in the refrigerator this morning, and yeah, there were several gnats that came flying off. I was like, no! You know, over the summer, we had a nice little, handful of days of trying to desperately get rid of a gnat infestation. One of my clients, which was super sweet, one of my clients who's from Georgia sent me a box, and it had fresh Georgia peaches and onions in it, and it had holes poked all in it. Well, there was a couple of them that had little mushy spots. I put them all in the refrigerator, and then I cut them all up later. Well, I didn't realize until hours later. I come into the kitchen, and I go over to where that box is by the trash can, and gnats are just everywhere. So there must have been something in that box. I don't know. It was probably, there was a little bit of peach goos, but anyways, I couldn't believe it. We dealt with those gnats for probably a week, and thanks to some of you guys, and I could have Googled it or chat GPT'd it, but it had happened that day when I told you guys, and I was just doing what I'm doing now, talking. And so you guys told me some of the ways to get rid of them, and they did work. But now here we are again. He looks like he needs to be fixed a little, and he's not fixing. Come here. Now you're pretty. Okay. So we have one strand, and then our center chain. And then this other strand's going to come right over there on that other side with one of these little jump rings. So I have not gotten nearly the number of recordings done that I wanted to get done. I have lots to do and so excited about all this stuff. I'm just trying to find time. Court filing deadline is on Monday, so in just a couple days. And I went from being in Orlando for a week, coming back from Orlando with a gnarly case of COVID. That COVID took me out for the whole long Labor Day weekend, and then a little some after that. And then, so I come back and I'm just starting to catch up, still not feeling 100%. And then I take off this past week for Baltimore. I was in Baltimore from Monday through Wednesday. Last trip, no more travel. Gosh, right. Okay, anyway. But there's so much catch-up work to do. I've been doing nothing but working, you guys. But all I want to be doing is recording. And hopefully one day, if I am a lucky enough gal and if I work hard enough, one day this will be considered my job. Could you imagine? Like, my love, my stuff and things, and my love as my work, like only work. Right now, it's just my fun time that I get to share with you guys. I don't know why I'm rambling today. All right, here we go. So I thought that this might be a little bit long, especially when I didn't know for sure how I was going to connect here. I had an idea. I don't think the idea was this though, but so what I want to do is whenever this ends up like hanging, this I don't want to be like over here. You know, I want this one to be kind of stiff, you know, kind of tight. And then they're all three going to connect into this. So before I do anything with this next side, I want to make sure that I'm lined up and good here, right? So let's pull this down, right down here. And I can tell right off that I know I've got to take this off, and I'm thinking one more. So actually I'm going to start with that because I'm pretty confident in that from the looks of it. You guys are probably agreeing with me if you just saw it through that on your TV or on your iPad or your tablet or your phone. I primarily watch YouTube on my TV. And to be honest, the only TV I really watch anymore at all is if YouTube's on. And of course, like when I'm working during the day, I have the TVs on mute, just playing my tutorials, going through a playlist or something. That really helps me on my view time. So if ever, hey, if you want to, if ever, you know, you're not going to be at the house, or you're not going to be, you know, watching TV or anything, and you want to help out, go to my channel, pull up a playlist, choose to run a mix on it. That helps me big time. Big time, big time. But anyways, now it looks too short. Let's just see. So this is that other link, right? Yes, this is that other link. Okay, so let's come in here. Let's go with these. Okay, so we'll use these to make these connections to our chandelier. But you see, I'm thinking this needs to be a little shorter anyways, because you see how that chandelier finding goes. This is going to be really cute though. Okay, so we're going to start out here. We'll connect this guy. I think he needs to be closed a little bit too. He's got a little bit of a gap. Okay, so we'll start with this. And we will connect it to our outside loop on our chandelier. Okay, so there's that one. Now here, what I'm thinking, and I can change this up, of course, but what I'm thinking is I'm going to open up the link itself, because this link is about the same size as the jump rings I'm using, and I just took that off, right? So I'm going to try it without it and see if that's the size that I'm looking for. If not, I'll update it. We can make updates and alterations, you know. Is that the open side? There it is. That booger. This one's kind of hard to see. And it's right on that bend. But I love when chain opens up. It just also opens up all of your options. This one isn't opening up, my friends. Is my eyesight that bad? Okay. I don't know which that ended up being, just not sure. But I don't want it to look twisted, so I'm just kind of checking it. There it goes. Okay, so let's pop this right on. Hold on, little buddy. I think My pliers are in the way from it getting on there. Here we go. Nope, I might need to open him up more. Okay. So the way this wants to lay, that is backwards. So hold on. Actually, hold on. Yeah, he's kinked in on himself. Okay, so we're going to need 2 jump rings on that because of the way he wants to lay. You know, I have constantly find myself distracted because I'm looking back at my design and what I just did or what I need to do or if it looks right or if I missed a bead or, I mean, we all do it, right? But important things are caught that way too. Like typically I don't think about that because, I mean, it's a clamshell connector on here, you know, but no. In this case, it's a very big deal. It was laying really wonky. Okay, so on we go again. Then we'll see how we're looking. There we go, that's better. Okay, so let's try again on our chain. See, look, it still wants to do that. Okay, we're gonna do the other side. We're just gonna pop it on the other side. Okay. And then let's see if it turns itself around. I didn't anticipate this at all. That's when good learning happens. Okay, moment of truth. Here we go. Look, look. Yes, my friends, yes. And it has been a long day, so it's like, it's Saturday at like, I don't know, 10:30, something like that. And I got to go to a football game last night, a high school football game, and it was so crazy because I sat on the visiting side at my high school that I went to high school at, and it's the first time I've ever sat on the visitor side. But I'm seeing a guy, and his son plays, well, he was playing baseball, track, and basketball, and he's a freshman in high school this year, and so he decided to drop baseball because, you know, he hadn't tried football yet and wanted to try football. And he is a starter. He is in every single play except for special teams. So he's on offense and defense. He's, I think one of the positions has corner in it, corner something. I don't know. He makes touchdowns sometimes, so that's cool. It was the most beautiful night. I couldn't believe it. I even texted one of my friends and I was like, you know what? This may be the last picture perfect fall night. Thank you for not opening that. that we'll get, you know, before it starts hitting to where it's too crisp, you know. It was beautiful, beautiful, and a fun game and good company. And because I've been so cooped up because I've been sick, it felt really good to get out. You know, I work from home too, so I'm here all the time. And a lot of times I get off of work and I come straight to the bead room, you know, and then I'm here for sometimes hours. Those are happy hours though. Shh, don't get me wrong. Okay, I'm over an hour and I need to be more efficient. Let's see. See that little gap there? Come on. There we go. Okay, and this is what I'm checking. I'm going to put this other one on, and I want to make sure that this doesn't like gap or lag. You know, if I need to maybe take off one more of those, something like that, because I have those jump rings that give a little extra link down there at the bottom. Okay, so let's do that third strand, that inside strand. Okay, and the way this is laying, let me be mindful here. That'll be good because you see how the openings look to each other. Actually, the openings are like this to each other. Oh gosh, sorry. The openings are like this at their natural state, where they're naturally lying. And so only one jump ring is needed for this one. What happened? Here, I'm so excited I'm finally getting to record, and I'm just swinging for the fences, aren't I? I'm so in love with this set, though. I'm loving the fall vibe, the fall colors. I love the deep tones, and this one is just so much fun. Why? He doesn't want to close. Okay. Okay, let's get it back where it would naturally lie. And we're still parallel, so we're good there. Yeah, I think one link's gonna have to come off that one. So, if you will, it's going to be kind of like this, but I think I need a jump ring on that front one, because when, here, we'll do it from here. Okay, you see it? Can you see the depth difference? There you go. Now you see it. So when I'm pulling it straight out, right, you see that the chain is sticking up farther, or the farthest, okay, as if it's too short. But when it had just one extra link on it, it acted as if it was too long. And so, let's see. I wonder. It's all about these connections. I'm contemplating removing these and just putting something that's cute, you know? That way they're more free-flowing and they connect to each other directly up here at the top. I think that might be easier, and I think I might try it. So hang tight for me, just 1 minute. Okay, so this worked out well, okay? Only thing I changed was I have it connected up here to a ring, and I ended up with all 3 of those links. See, after that big one, all 3 of them. Okay, so that's what we're looking at there. On this side, I went ahead, I've connected 2 of these. Okay, so I went ahead and did the connection that's for the chain. You saw me do that over here. I'm about to connect that outside strand. Okay. So now we have our 3 strands here and our 3 strands here. Let's see how that wants to pull. Okay, and so default connection is both of these. See, they're going up and down instead of side to side. So I'm gonna bring in, let me make sure I'm using the same size. I need more, so 1 sec here. Okay, so there's 3 of those. I have a little mix in here of that size. Okay. So now let's grab these. We'll connect them to that ring. And then I need to measure this to see how much chain we need to go to the back, because it's literally going to be just behind the neck, I'm sure of it. Okay. Let's see. And on the chain, I ended up connecting that 3rd to the loop. So that's what I'm wanting to do. There we go. Okay, so this one, is that the open side? No. There's the open side. Okay, so I'm going to connect this right to it, but I need to make sure I'm opening it plenty, because that ring is a little thick. Woo. I'm in, I just gotta grab him. There we go. Just. Did I? It is absolutely that link. Ooh. Darn it. That link is saying, I'm not thinking so. I mean, you can keep trying, but that seriously looks like a smaller link than the other side. It's like right there on the twist. I don't want it to get jammed up, so I think I'm gonna take that off actually and use a jump ring in its place. It just is small. Maybe it's because of where the opening is on the twist, but he looks a whole lot littler than the other side. Okay, so let's come in here with this one. Trying to see how he wants to naturally lay. Should we do the bracelet or earrings next? I think I'm feeling bracelet. Yeah, I think I'm feeling bracelet next. The bracelet's fun. The bracelet's very similar to the strands on this necklace. But there's going to be 3 actual strands of beads, and it will be a triple strand. You probably already saw that because I put that picture in the intro. But still, we're having the discussion. Hello. What am I doing? Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. What did I just do? Oh, Amy. There it goes. Okay. Nope. Hold on. There we go. Okay, so we have these 3 coming up from this beauty. Yeah. So pretty, I think. Love it. Okay, so we're not going to use these guys. This is going to be chained just behind my neck. So let me test. Did I already have a piece? I don't know if that'll be long enough. Actually, that'll be long enough with the toggle. Okay, that had to have been a just so happen. So let's see where center is for this guy. So if I pop this on and pop this on, it's the center one in this strand. That's that guy. I'm not going to save him, and so I'm just going to cut him right off. Okay, so on one end it ends with the large link. On the other end it ends with the small one. What I'm wondering is, should we cut that other small one off and just have them both on both sides be... No, because I'm thinking it was going to anyways be just the length I'm looking for. So I think I'm going to leave that on. We'll connect them with this, right? With this one. And actually, no. Ooh. I've got an idea. We'll use the oval, right? And we'll put an oval on that side. That way we have good flow and movement as well. And that way I'm not having to open up those little ones. You know, I don't really want to do that. Okay, so here we are. Let's come in with, let's do a jump ring on the bottom of each of these that connects here. Okay, that way I don't want to, because this is going to be, you know, where you're connecting and all of that. I think it'll be easier that way. And then I'll put an oval one on this side. And maybe that'll give me just a little bit of extra wiggle room in my length as well. Okay, so let's come in here, grab a hold of him, pop him up here. And we'll close that off. Okay, and then on this side we'll do that same. Oops. Okay. That is going to be so much fun. So much fun. And then we're just going to toggle it at the end here. Toggle down. Let's do ovals on this end piece. Okay. So there's one side of our toggle. Here's the other side. Then we will make a fun bracelet and then finish out a pair of earrings for this set. And then I will work to be a little more efficient for you guys next time I do a tutorial. I thought I was all ready. I was ready. There's just things that come up, right? There's things that come up, but still I want to be as efficient as possible for you guys. But it's also important to see mess ups because I'm not perfect. That is for sure. We are all learning daily. And this is fun. This is so much fun. Okay. So let's take a peek here. Bring it down this way. Okay, so we are coming here. We come from these 3 offset strands, and then, sorry, whoops, I knew that was weird. And then we come from those strands down into our filigree, into our focal. And so I'm really excited to see this on a bust. So let me clean this stuff up real quick and I will bring back for our bracelets. Okay. So our bracelet. Okay. So, is this not just gorgeous? I'm loving it, loving it, loving it. So for our bracelet, I've made 1 strand. We're going to have 2 strands that look just like this plus a focal. So it's very similar to what we did in our necklace, but I brought in the peanut beads. Remember on the unboxing? If you saw the unboxing, I'll link the unboxing below. I was saying that my favorite thing in the mix was these peanut beads because I love how they kind of nestle into each other like that, right? They're just fun, fun, fun. And so you guys just, was it Friday or Thursday? Okay, just the other day, I went on beadboxbargains.com website and they have a ton of peanut beads, ton of them. I ordered some of all of them, so just be waiting for that unboxing. But love these peanut beads. They're just fun. So I'm going to recreate this and then we'll do that focal, right? So I'm going to jump in here and get my closure done on one side because I know what this is going to look like. I'm not designing it. It's already been designed and I'm replicating that. So, what I'm using for this wire for this bracelet is Soft Flex Fine Satin Silver color. When I had ran out of it, I was like, I need more like this second, right now. I cannot wait. There's no waiting. I love it, love it, love it. So we're going to be pulling in some of our spacers. Okay, so we're going to have spacers. We're pulling in barrel bead, some of the petrified wood, some of that brown agate, some of the obsidian, and then from the bead mix, I didn't have any more of these little faceted beads from the mix. So what I brought in for the bracelet is some faceted Red Creek jasper, and it works out really well. Okay, so that's what this is for the bracelet because I was out of those other beads. Okay, and then bead caps, of course. Okay, so we're just going to recreate this. So here I'm starting with one of our spacers. I'm coming in with that gray bead, a bronze bead cap, agate, bronze. We're going to come right back in with one of our bicones. And on the other side of the bicone, we're going to add that spacer. Then we're going into that mix of the obsidian with the faceted bead on the inside, right? So this time that faceted bead is Red Creek jasper. Okay, but we are going to still bead cap that with a 3mm gold. Really pops. Really, really pops. It's beautiful. Then we'll just follow it up with another 4mm obsidian. Okay, we'll put a spacer on that. Then we'll come right back with that bronze bead cap. Another one of these guys. And then I want to go in with the peanut beads. So I wanted to bring in those colors. So I'm doing one of the maroon, one of the dark gray, because these come with dark gray and light gray. That dark gray I thought matched those bicones better. And then another one of these, red. Okay, I'm gonna put spacer, jump right back in here with bead cap, agate. And then that bead cap. Little spacer bead. And then another of these three. They are just so much fun as soon as they go in on each other. It's just so cute. So cute. Yeah, this is really cool. I love these. See here, these will be the two outer strands. Cute. Okay, and then we will come in with another one of these guys. I was trying to look at the spacer situation I had going on here. I messed up on that last one. I didn't want to mess up on this one. I've been wanting to record this for a couple days. Like I said, with catch up, because the catch up work, it's been super difficult. But no more trips. No more trips. Gone on trips or not, all the work I have is still there. So I'll come in with that obsidian, and I'll put a spacer in there. Then we should be back to gray, right? Yep. So then we'll do that bicone, bronze bead cap, then another bicone, and then the spacer. And then Amy's going to look at it real quick to make sure nothing was missed, and also to line it up. That also helps me to know nothing was missed. Aren't those cool? Yeah, nice. Okay, so let's close this one up, and then we'll do that focal. Folding it in half, kind of pulling up on that wire and crimping it down, finishing that crimp, and we'll trim him off. Oh. Oh, he's got a pokey sticking out there. Let's fix him up. I think I'll do it with my clippers. Perfect. Close the rest of the way up. And we have, I still got him a little bit tight, didn't I? Then we have our two outer strands. So let's work on this focal. So let me get a bead bug. And actually, I think I kind of know what I want with my focal. I might go ahead and close up that end. Yeah, I think I do know. So let's close up the end and we'll just knock it out. All right, so on here, I wanted, because it's going to have more diameter in the center than these two, right? But I wanted it to come down to a point a little more than these did. So we have that bicone with just one spacer at the end. But with this, I wanted a few of those. So let's do 3 spacers. And again, this is going to be very similar to the necklace. Okay, so I'm going to come in here with my obsidian. I'm going to bead cap one of my Red Creek Jaspers. He's a little chipped, but he's okay. Okay, and then we'll follow that up with another obsidian. Now let's put one of these and then our bicone like our series does. Okay, and then we're going to go into the bronze. Oh, if I was all the way off camera for all that, you guys, I am so sorry. I just so happened to peek and I'm like, whoa, what's wrong? Well, Amy, let me tell you what's wrong. Okay, now let's put another spacer on there. Okay, so we have that. And then we're going to follow that up with kind of our series that we have in the necklace. So for this, I'm going to come in with a baby gold bead cap, followed by one of these brown 8mm. Okay, that's what's going to go on our petrified wood. Okay. Do that brown. And then the gold. Okay. From here, we're going to do that little spacer. So we're going to pop on a spacer, and then we'll go into that barrel bead. So with the barrel bead, we are going to be doing the 3mm bronze, followed by the 8mm gold. Then we're just going to pop that barrel bead right on there. Then we will do that 8mm for the gold, 3mm for the bronze. We'll come back in here with another one of our spacers. And then we will do gold. Brown, petrified wood, and then brown, topped with gold. That's for our center. So cool. And all we're going to do is we're just going to continue and repeat that series right there. Okay, so on the other side of this, we're going to do that little spacer, followed by bicone, bronze bead caps. Let me get more. Okay, so bronze bead cap, bring in this beautiful agate, beautiful agate. And then that final series. So obsidian, gold, faceted Red Creek Jasper, gold, obsidian, and then 3 of our spacers. Oh, there's only 2 here. Wowza. Okay, oh, I got one up here. I have one up here. There we go. Now let's verify our length before I close this bad boy up. Let's make sure I was on par. Let's make sure what I thought I remembered this to be is what it is. Okay, so Here we are. So just like in the necklace, you see how across from the barrel bead is our agate. I wanted it to be the same. Okay, so we are good here. Definitely looks good. Okay, so let's close this up. Okay, we want that movement, but we don't want gapping. Okay, so I'm going to grab a hold of him, pull up on my wire, and crimp him down. Last time he went flying, so I just was keeping a hold of him. Then we'll close it up. Okay, so let's just look here. Okay, so these are the same. Let's see what that length is. So on this, we are looking at total about 4.5 inches. So what I was thinking for this one is pulling in these, trying to give that process another shot, right? And then having a little toggle coming off of that. So let's see what that total length would be. Yeah, about 6.5. I should be good. I should be good, 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 good. Okay, so let's try it. Let's see if it wants to hang right. Let's see what we want to do. And if not, we can use those rings to match the top of the necklace. But I thought that would be way fun for earrings and a bracelet, you know? It was a last thought to put it on for the necklace. And then I was like, you know what? That's just not going to work out. Not going to work out. Sometimes it just doesn't. Okay, so let's look. Kind of wanted some smaller ones. Let's just go ahead and stick with ovals. So let's get some more ovals in here. We'll play it safe. And do those ovals on here. So we'll connect each individually. Okay. I think the earrings are going to be really cute too. It's one of those things where typically I'm not like, I want it to be matchy matchy, but in some ways I wanted it to match. It just felt right, you know? But ooh, do I have some ideas for this box. Yep. Okay, this has more diameter than these, so this may be a little bit longer, and it's okay. It's okay because it comes down to, remember, it's not just the length, it's the diameter. The thicker the beads, the shorter the bracelet will end up being because the diameter is smaller. So now we want these to be laying as naturally as they want, so that whenever we're connecting this other side, we're not causing it to kink or causing it to be, you know, unnatural or no longer organic to what it wants to be. Okay, so this one looks like it goes just like so. That last one on there. Okay. And for this one, I did not use one of the toggles from the box because I wanted it to be a simpler, just smaller toggle for the bracelet. So, but I definitely wanted it to be a toggle. You know, the more I try, it is not, the better I get at being able to close my own bracelets. Because if it's not a toggle or a button, you know, like button into a seed bead enclosure or button into leather, I just really struggle. Like really struggle. Okay, so we have our bracelet here, and let's look here. Boy, it looks like that's a super lot longer. Oh no, not really. I mean, if you look at it. Okay, it's just when I lay it down, it looks like it's kind of wonky. That is adorable. That is adorable. Sorry, I got loud there. I'm so excited about everything else I want to do and record this weekend. I so hope I get the time I need and I want and that I plan to have for tomorrow. I love doing this, you guys. I love doing this. And I'm almost at 5,000 subscribers. 5,000 subscribers. I've had my channel for what, 15 months. I'm super excited. And here in the next day or two, I'll be making the first announcement about the giveaway, the 5K giveaway. I'm going to be giving away to 5 different people. So, anyone watching this video just got the very first in on it. So tell your friends. Oops. Okay. So if this is a little too short, I can just add another jump ring here, right? But is that not just adorable? Oh, super duper cute. Oh my gosh. Yes. Hold on. I still even struggle with toggles sometimes. There we go. Look at this bracelet. It is perfect. And tell me that is not so adorable. Look at it. It is spot on. That is happiness. Oh, yeah. Okay, so hold on. I gotta swap here. Oh no, I need to lay it out. Oh, I'm wearing this all the time. Look at, you see my goosies? I'm wearing this all the time. You will see this on me all the time. I love these colors. And you guys, I have a lot of mookaite. I have a lot of I just have a lot of my beads that I don't get to, for tutorial purposes, to make much from because I got, you know, a lot of other stuff I'm doing. What is wrong with me in this toggle? There we go. Oh, that is beautiful. Beautiful. I'm really happy with, you know me and bracelets, but boy, that is fun. Okay, so here's the bracelet. Now, let's do the other earring. I've made one. So let's do that other earring. Super cute. Oh, that's happiness. Okay, so here we are. Oop, 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 oop. Oh. Another soft flex fine and satin silver. This is what we're looking at. And I think that's just adorable. Again, typically I'm not like matchy-matchy, but just fun. Beautiful. Love it. Okay, so let's separate this stuff out. I tried to get everything I needed for this. I don't know if I did. We'll see. Okay, there's my obsidian, my Red Creek jasper, a couple jump rings, a couple crimps, and okay, we're good. So let's make the strand that's going to be going from the 2 end pieces. So this is cut to, let's see where we are. This is cut to about 3.5 inches, okay? So 3.5 inches. I'm going to go ahead and close off the one end. So I'm going to pop this on. Let's bring it in here. He's just a little piece of wire. He's just a little bitty guy. So what I'll probably do is, I know as soon as I get done with this tutorial, because it's running a lot longer than I anticipated, Squirt is going to be hungry. So I am going to feed him, and then after I feed him, I will come in here and I will kind of raise this up a little bit, and I'll let you guys see him. He's such a big boy squirrel, you guys. He is such a big boy squirrel. So let's bring in, oh, I need spacers. Oh, I need spacers. I have more. 1 sec. Yeah, okay, so actually here's how they look. These are the ones that are bright silver, and then the matte silver, and then here is some of those gold. And then I got more today. Okay, so let's come in here with one of these spacer beads. I need my tools out of the way. There we go. Okay, so we're doing a spacer bead, and then we're going to be doing that obsidian combo with the baby bead caps on that Red Creek Jasper. So we'll do that 3mm bead cap, Red Creek Jasper, another 3mm, okay, and then obsidian on the other side. Okay, so from here we're going to do a spacer, and then we're going to go into that bicone. So good. Bronze bead caps. So bronze for agate and bronze. I need another bicone. Hold on. Okay, so then we'll go bicone, spacer, I did not do bicones on these. Nope, I did not. It threw me off because I saw the bicone. Okay, that's why I only needed one. Okay, I made this different. I've done that series so many times. I'm going to be sleeping tonight and probably saying the series in my head. That's kind of funny. Okay, and then we'll do that spacer. So a spacer on each side of these. Then we're going to go into those peanut beads. So we're going to just do them right one after another. And on this, we're doing 2 gray with the maroon in the middle. Okay, so that's essentially going to be the middle of our curve that's going to be going on this earring. Okay, so on this other side, we're going to do a spacer, bronze bead cap with one of our agate, another bronze bead cap, and another spacer. Okay, and then our final little series is just this obsidian with the bead capped Red Creek. So we are obsidian, and then that obsidian. Then all we should be doing here at the end is putting one of our little spacers and closing this guy up. And we'll make our little center dangle for it. Okay, let's make sure that looks good. Make sure I didn't miss anything. Nope, super cute. So, clamshell. Now, important. You need to definitely fold this in on each other exactly how you would want it on that piece before you crimp it. And the reason why is because you're going to need a little more gap than what you would think, right? Otherwise, you see how it wants to automatically go back out. You want to make sure it has that flow. You don't want gaps, you know, overall, but you want to make sure it has that flow. So I'm going to have them literally folded on top of each other whenever I do this. And that's the way I do it a lot of times whenever it's this small, or I just manually put a gap in there. So let me grab a hold of this. While they're in on each other, I'm just going to pull a little bit. Oh, hold on, I did not crimp it. Hold on, close these guys up together. Here we go. And then give it a little pull on that wire. Crimp them down. So it may look like there's a little gapping going on right now, right? Because I have it straight again. It's not going to be once you bend it into itself, once you fold it into itself. It takes up a lot more space. A lot more space than I had anticipated, you know, when I first started doing this, that's for sure. Okay, so we'll close him up. See, and now he can effortlessly fold up. Woo! Okay, so we want to get a couple jump rings and get those connected here, and I need a couple more of those. Weren't those just little babies? Yeah, those were just little bitty guys. Okay, so let me see. Got them. Yep. I'm like, wait a minute, I think I counted them. Okay, yeah, I have these guys. Okay, pop him on here. Close him up really well. Okay, and then when you're bringing this around, be mindful of where you are, right? So from here, this wants to go down like this. So then when you're bringing this up, you want to bring this up to where this is lined up vertically, right? So that jump ring works well. Okay, so this is lined up vertically. I did not open this. Ooh. Got it though. I did. Yep, see that? Okay. Then we're going to make a little pretty to hang from the middle. Okay. So hanging from that middle is, I used one of my heavier duty ball head pins, right? This you cannot wrap with. At least I can't wrap with it. Okay, so on here, what I'm doing is bronze bead cap, gold filigree bead cap, my barrel bead, just like the way I was doing it in the bracelet as well as the necklace. And so then right back into gold, bronze. Okay, and all I did was put one of these bicones on top, just to give it a little something. Now, did I put something on top of that bicone? I did. I was just wondering if I did a spacer on the top of that bicone. Okay, and I did. So this is what's going to be in the center. I'm going to do a simple loop with it. This is a Tough Stuff ball head pin, so it is just simple loop needed. Keep that little kickback going. Okay, now we're going to open this pretty thing up. We are going to pop it right on. Oh, did I open it up enough? No, ma'am. We'll pop it right in there, center. And we'll close that up real good. Oh. I think this loop is a little bit smaller than my last loop. Come from this angle. There we go. Woohoo! Come on. There we go. Still good movement. This is what we're looking at here. And so then I flipped him. And so then when this is hanging down here, whenever we are using this lever back, okay, this is the type of lever back, okay, and so this would be the front and the bigger part would be the back, okay. And then for this it will open. Now if this had an opening, I would have went with this, but if it doesn't have an opening, I go ahead and use the opening that's on these earring findings. Otherwise I would rather not, because it's much more of a filigree kind of flimsy than other things are. So I'm going to come in this way. Oh, did I open you enough? Oh, I didn't. I did not. Okay. And once again, this is our front. So he's hooking from the back. And then let's get him closed off properly. I have to have it at a certain angle. Oh, here we go. That way I can grab it and just bend it back down, you know. There we go. It's closed all the way. And we have now a 3-piece set. So fun, so fun, so fun. My friends, thank you for being here with me. Thank you for hanging in here with me, okay? I know that we kind of had to go back and forth a little bit with this design and with these pieces, but it happens sometimes. It happens to us all. So, oh, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. All right. So I'm going to get this out as soon as I can, and then the moment I can do another one, I'm going to be right back here with you guys. I appreciate you so much. I hope you have a fantastic day. Bye. So there's my little man hanging out next to his buddy. What's he doing? Are you stretching? And Jasper kind of oversees him and makes sure everything's fine. What you doing, buddy boy? Hi. Hi. You gonna hang out? You in your safe spot? You in your safe spot? He's Mama's boy. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Here comes Jasper. What you think? Hi. Hi, handsome. He hangs out at my side. He loves hanging out at my side. Are you stretching? Oh, you're gonna clean your face now? Huh? Hi. Yeah? Oh no, you're gonna give me love. Okay. Yeah, he grooms me. So this is them too. They just hang out together. They touch noses too. It's really cute. And Jasper's cleaned him after every feeding since I've had him. So since he was about a week old. So they are just buddy-o pals. Boy, that zoomed in a lot. There we go. Here's my baby boys, my 2 boys. Yep. I know. Yeah, they're just gonna hang out together. Hmm? Jasper, he doesn't need to be cleaned right now, buddy. He doesn't need to be cleaned right now. I just want to see him. I know he's going to end up taking shelter between your front legs, too. They are too much. Look at these babies. What you guys doing? What you guys doing? Are you going to play? What? What you doing? What you doing? Huh, buddy?